Hey guys, today we're bringing you our PS4 collection. Just like last time, we're going to zoom through everything all at once and then go really in depth with it. So here we go. Alright guys, so there's the quick montage of our PS4 collection. Now what I figured we'd do is just jump into this quite randomly and kind of sort through all these different games that we have. So how about we just start it on off with a classic that I think everybody's played, Minecraft. I don't got much to say about Minecraft. I don't know if you do.
It's a really fun game to jump into if you haven't played it. Do it.
Yeah, Minecraft is Minecraft.
Yeah.
Next up, a game I actually haven't played yet, but Project Cars. As you can tell, it's still sealed, but Gran Turismo style simulator, I guess you could say. I've heard a lot of good things. Also, I don't want you guys to think that I was like ignoring Minecraft. I freaking love Minecraft. There's just not a whole lot you can say on it.
Yeah, it's covered a lot on YouTube already.
So next up, we got Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, this one here actually belongs to our roommate, but we used to own a copy of it too. But we traded it in for, I don't know, bigger and better things, depending on your opinion. But, yeah.
I have a very unpopular opinion of the game, so I'm not going to say too much.
All right, next up, another game that I haven't played. You'll find a lot of these in my PS4 collection. Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. I've wanted this for a long time, back when it came out on PSP. But the main reason I got this was for the Final Fantasy 15 demo. I think I've wanted 15 a lot more than I've wanted this. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we got like a trilogy of games here. Final Fantasy 14, as well as Heavensward and Stormblood. It's 2 expansions. I absolutely adore this game. It's one of like my favorite games on the PS4. And I think we've clocked, I don't know, about 100 hours into this.
At least.
At least. So if you guys are thinking about getting Final Fantasy 14 jumping on, we're on Brynhildr, so feel free to jump on and join us.
What's really nice is I find this is an MMO that you can kind of jump into it and you don't actually have to be super consistent with it. You can jump in and just have a couple fun hours.
Yeah, not only that, but you also don't really have to know a lot about Final Fantasy either. You can just jump in and it's a lot of fun.
It is.
Launch title for the PS4, Killzone Shadowfall. This one here I ended up picking up when we first got the PS4. I played a lot of it, and then I sold it to a buddy, and then I picked it back up when it was like $5. So it's still sealed because I've had no need to jump back into it.
Killzone's one of those series that I really want to try, but I've never played any of them.
Well, the first one's really good.
Yeah.
I like the first one. The Evil Within, great horror game. I'm actually excited for the sequel.
I suck at horror games. I've watched him play through this, and I couldn't play it. No.
All right, next up is another game we've sunk plenty of time into, Payday 2. I bought this game, I think, about 5 times. I have it on PS3, PS4, PC. If there was any other ports, I swear to God, I'd probably own those too. But I absolutely love Payday. It's a great series.
What I think's weird about Payday is some of the maps get repetitive because you find ones that you like adore and you just keep replaying them, but it never seems to get really old because a lot of it's like randomized.
Yeah, the layouts keep randomizing Payday,
so it's
which
nice.
is really great. A game I played for a while, she still plays quite a bit, is Overwatch. It's a good game. I don't know. This kind of stuff never holds me for long. So.
He says that, and I adore this game. I don't care what he says.
Yeah. Next up, another game that's still sealed, we haven't played, is The Order 1866. 1886. 66 would be a little earlier than that. Anyways. The Order 1886. I don't really have anything to say on it because it was one of these games that I picked up for super cheap not too long after its launch window because it didn't have great sales. So
I know a lot of people diss on it because it's really short, but I don't know. I really want to give it a try at some point. I figure it looks phenomenal, and I kind of like the mood and atmosphere that the game's going for.
Next up, another game that launched earlier this year, Nier Automata. I really enjoyed this one. I played a little bit of the original Nier when that first came out. I'm enjoying that as well. I'm trying to go back through it. But yeah, great game so far.
Watched him play this. I don't understand it. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Still sealed. One that I picked up because I figured it would be rare pretty quickly is Knights of Azure. And I heard that they're actually making a sequel to this. It's supposed to be like an RPG, kind of like, well, JRPG storyline. I think you travel around as like the protector of this girl or something like that. It sounded really interesting, but I haven't had a chance to play it.
There are some games like this that I don't even know he has.
Next up, a game that was severely disappointing for a lot of people, which is No Man's Sky. I actually had big hopes for this one, of course, just like everybody else, but I think my expectations were a little bit lower because I was thinking it was going to be something that was more relative to like an indie scene kind of game that comes out of nowhere, whereas everybody thought it would be like a AAA blockbuster that would be like super crazy and amazing. And yeah, well, I mean, it didn't even live up to the expectations that it set out for itself. In the beginning, I thought it was all right, but I haven't played it since.
I kind of have mixed feelings on it too because I played it for a little while, and where I did enjoy what I did play, I don't know if I just got a bad spawn location, but I was like dead almost instantly.
Yeah, no, that happens to a lot of people.
So that sucked.
Next up, a game I really enjoyed for quite a while, Need for Speed. This one here is the deluxe edition with the BMW. I thought that this was a fantastic return to form for Need for Speed, and its always online stuff was kind of iffy, but aside from that, it was a great racing game. Probably my favorite racing game on the PS4 because it's like the only one that I'll still pop in every once in a while. Mm. So
I also love how they have like live action with the graphics they have. It's really cool.
Yeah, it did a great job with that.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got two games here, technically part of the same thing, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes and The Phantom Pain. These here, amazing games. If you can get the complete pack, I recommend it. But I also don't really recommend giving Konami any more money nowadays because of what happened with Kojima. But I absolutely love Hideo Kojima. I love Metal Gear, and this is, as you've seen, my favorite game on the PS4. So
one thing that I will add that is, if you've never played a Metal Gear game, I kind of agree with him where it's kind of a game for longtime fans, so try the first few before getting into that one.
Now we're getting into some of the bigger collector's editions before jumping back into the normal stuff, but we have Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Again, I don't remember what edition this even is, Atlas Pro Edition. This one here I actually think I got from a friend because I owned the normal copy for a while, and he was looking at trading this in, but it was like the same trade value, whether you traded in the normal edition or the collector's edition, so he just gave me that. Next up, we got Bloodborne. I know this one is a favorite for many people out there. I still prefer Dark Souls, in my opinion, but it was still nonetheless a great game.
I don't know. This is one that I haven't tried. I've tried most of the Dark Souls games. I should probably give it a try. I heard it's a little easier than the Dark Souls games.
I think that depends on opinion. As long as you don't mind dodging all the time. No shields. Anyways, next up, we've got Onechanbara. This one is still sealed, collector's edition. I got this one super cheap, so that's why I have it. But yeah, not much to say on it. I don't really know a whole lot about it. Next up, we have the Juggernog edition of Call of Duty Black Ops 3. This is the one that came with the fridge and all that stuff. I'm not much for the Call of Duty games ever since, like, Modern Warfare 3, but, I mean, that fridge was effing cool. We played a lot of zombies, so I had to get the fridge. I think that was the main reason for buying it. Next up, we have Dishonored 2. I was a huge fan of Dishonored 1. I didn't get enough time to actually play this. A lot of people said that this game was designed around Emily's story rather than Corvo's. I don't know if that was a turnoff because I've got nothing against like playing as female characters. I mean, like I played as Jill in the original Resident Evils and stuff like that. But Emily just didn't seem like an interesting character to me because like in the first one, she was just like such like an innocent young little girl, and now she was supposed to be like some trained assassin because you know Corvo and
well, she's also
stuff.
Older too, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. I haven't played it enough to actually judge it. I think I got like up to like when you get your abilities back, and that was it. So I don't really have anything to say on it, sadly enough. I'll have to give it a shot again another day because I've heard lots of great things about it. So Next up, we got Watch Dogs. Yeah, I played it a while back, beat it. It's Watch Dogs. You guys already know more than enough about that. Next up, we have the collector's edition of Persona 5. Probably one of my favorite games on the PS4, as you can tell from our top 10 PS4 games list. An amazing JRPG. Which one would you still say is probably your favorite Persona?
What's funny is I never actually beat 4, and just the overall feel 4 has is probably still my favorite. With that being said, though, I literally put 135 hours into this game.
Yeah, I put about 120 hours.
It is still an
into
amazing
this.
game.
And I'm going through on a second time to try and platinum it. It is a fantastic game, and I highly recommend it for anybody that likes JRPGs or anybody who wants to give JRPGs a try. It's got a slow start, but a fantastic story, great cast of characters, and overall just a fantastic game. So if you can find it, pick it up.
I find the stories in it are really good, too.
Yeah, so great game.
Yeah.
Moving on to finally the front row of games here. Jesus, there's so many. The Division, all I can say is I love the beta. The game itself kind of sucked. Sorry.
Well, the beta was essentially just the first section of the game, and I don't know if that's what friggin' drove it down or what, but I was in love with the beta too, and I was so excited for that game.
And I think that's a theme that we might see again as we go through this, because there's a few games that kind of did that for us. Next up, we have Dragon Age Inquisition. I picked this up super cheap. I was never super big into the Dragon Age series, but I played this one a bit, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. So
yeah, me too. I've never actually played any of them except this one, and I played a lot of this one, actually. I really enjoyed it.
Next up, we got Drive Club, another racing simulator. This one I did actually clock a few hours into. While it's not one of the best out there, it is a pretty, well, actually, it's a very pretty game. And we actually played it in VR, too, because we have the PlayStation VR, and it was fantastic in VR. So I recommend picking it up for VR if you got it, because that's pretty cool. Now, the next game that did the whole beta thing, Destiny. This game was fantastic during its beta season, and what we kind of thought Destiny would become ended up becoming just nothing more than a repetitious slog for us. However, Destiny 2 is looking to improve some of those things, so maybe that might be something we get invested in the future. Destiny 2's beta was a little disappointing. It wasn't really as beefy as the original Destinies, but maybe that was a good thing. Maybe Destiny 2 will be loaded with content that we'll enjoy. Who knows?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I still would go back to this game. I really enjoyed it. It was just, I don't have all the DLC now, so I can't really get the full experience.
Yeah.
And it was like once you hit a certain level cap, the game was done, essentially. It felt that way.
It felt that way, for sure. And I believe that when they provided new content, they really should have done it like GTA, because GTA said that the reason they did DLC the way they did was so that they didn't divide the player base.
Yeah.
And I believe that that's exactly what happened with Destiny. If you weren't willing to shell out big amounts of money to buy brand new DLC that was almost the price of a full game, well, then you were separated from the main player base, which was, I think, a horrible choice. But
see, here's the thing. I probably would have shelled it out, but it was so far past the time that I stopped playing it that it almost felt irrelevant to me.
Yeah. Next up, we got one of my favorite games, Dark Souls 3. This one didn't even make it to the top 10 list because I feel like if you play Dark Souls, I mean, they kind of all feel the same. That's just my personal opinion, but I actually really enjoy Dark Souls. So yeah, Dark Souls 3, great game.
Really good game.
Next up, one that I didn't play nearly enough was Dying Light. I did think I clocked in probably about 20 hours into this. I never beat it, but I wanted to play the co-op modes, and I never had anybody to play with. So there you go.
That's one that I actually really want to play, but I'm a baby when it comes to any kind of horror, so
Great game.
Maybe I will give it a try at some point.
Next up, we got Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Way too short in my opinion, but the Deus Ex games are a fantastic series, so if you can get yourself any of the Deus Ex games, I recommend going through it. Fantastic. That there is the...
in his storyline?
In his storyline, it's the second one.
Yeah, I know the first one, I've watched him play it through the entire thing, so it's kind of disappointing that it wasn't as good as it was.
Yeah, and because of a lot of the controversy surrounding it, I know that Square had to postpone Deus Ex like almost indefinitely for now because of its lukewarm reception, but hopefully they get their shit together and they end up making a fantastic Deus Ex next.
Yeah, because we had some pretty cool mechanics in the first,
in Human Revolution,
yeah.
All right, next up we got Batman Arkham Knight, the only Batman game that I have yet to finish. Actually, I didn't finish the one by Warner Brothers either. But all the other ones made by Rocksteady I finished. I really enjoyed them. Great graphics. Wasn't a fan of the Batmobile sections, but yeah, I don't know. Still a good game.
My sister would fight you on that opinion. Huge Batman fan she is.
But yeah, I don't know. It was okay. Next up, we got Borderlands, the Handsome Collection. Now, this one here includes Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel. I haven't played the pre-sequel, but I've played more than enough of Borderlands 2. So hopefully, if all my friends end up getting this at some point, we'll jump through the pre-sequel and it'll be great. So, another game I've yet to play, but I know a lot about it, is Battlefield Hardline. Yeah, cops and robbers, but Battlefield. Yeah. Then we got Battlefield 4, one of the first games I bought on the PS4. Matter of fact, you can still, in my original PS4 unboxing that we did on another channel, I actually got this at the exact same time. So, yeah, anyways, it was a pretty good game. I really enjoyed the online. Something else I've yet to play, mainly because I don't think I could handle it, is Alien Isolation. I do go through a lot of horror games, but I've never been big on the Alien franchise itself. But I actually wanted to give this one a try, so maybe at some point, good idea for a live stream.
I don't want to be a part of
that. Probably the last Assassin's Creed game I actually played, Black Flag. A lot of people love pirate stories. I don't. I find pirates to be excessively boring. But that is just my personal opinion. But yeah, it was still a good game, though. I actually really enjoyed it. Had some of the best mechanics for a pirate game that I'd seen at the time, so...
I like pirates.
Yeah, I've just never... Like, Pirates versus Ninjas, ninjas all the way, man. Like, ninjas all the way.
Okay, that's not fair. Ninjas are cool.
Yeah. And
you throw a ninja on a pirate ship, they will still decimate. You throw a pirate anywhere else, and they may be a little lost for words.
Fantastically underrated game, Mad Max, from the guys that made Just Cause. This game was awesome, incredibly detailed wasteland, fun gameplay mechanics, because the one thing they had to get right in this game was the way the cars felt, and they nailed it. They did a fantastic job.
I really want to try it, but I'm worried that I'll get lost in the collectibles instead
of
of the actual game itself, because I do that a lot. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that would probably ruin the atmosphere a bit for me.
Next up, we got the Metro Redux, which is 2033 and Last Light in a combo pack. I mean, I don't know what that was. Anyways, Metro 2033 and Last Light in a combo pack, and these are fantastic games. If you haven't played them, you love horror, you love like that Fallout kind of feel, I'd really check them out. Also, check out the novels too, because 2033 was great.
I adore Fallout, but I love horror. I just suck at it, and I really want to give these a try. But I'm terrified too.
It's a good game. A game we just did a stream of from start to end, Little Nightmares. Go check out the stream if you want to know our full opinion. Fantastic game.
Really good game.
Then we have a classic as far as PlayStation's concerned, and that is The Last of Us. Fantastic game. I mean, it's not one of my top 10s, just more or less because I'm more about like open world kind of games and things like that. That's what I enjoy. But narratively, it was fantastic. And I can't wait for the sequel.
Yeah, really no, the story-wise, it's phenomenal. There's rarely a game that can do better telling a story-wise.
Yep. Another game that's fun just for randomness is Just Cause 3. Blow stuff up, have a good time. It's fantastic. I didn't even touch the story, and I think I still got a good 30 hours out of this. Now that it's free on PlayStation Plus this month, I recommend downloading it for anybody that has PlayStation Plus. Really good game.
I'd never seen any of the Just Cause games before, and then he showed me this one, or introduced me to it, I guess. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good game.
Okay.
Next up, Infamous Second Son. This was another game that was released in the PS4 launch window, and that's probably the main reason I own it, is because nothing else was coming out around the time, and I enjoyed Infamous 2 a lot. And I played this one, but I didn't get invested into it as much as I did for the second one, so...
I don't know. I think maybe it was just because you didn't give it enough time.
Probably.
There was newer and better things coming out, I guess.
Next up, we got Guilty Gear. I think it's called Xrd Sign. I'm not a huge Guilty Gear fan, but what ended up happening was when this first launched here, I guess within our hometown, there was only 2 physical copies, between all stores. So my buddy told me that he got one and there was one more, and I went and I grabbed it. And, they ended up, restocking something, a month or 2 later. So it's not as rare as I thought it was going to be, but still pretty cool. I like having this kind of stuff in the collection anyway, so...
Yeah.
Got to jump on that stuff when the opportunity arises, because if they wouldn't have restocked, well, it would be, impossible to get, so... A game I play all the time, Grand Theft Auto 5. There you go.
I don't know, you can just do almost anything in this game.
Literally anything in GTA 5. You can just go forever.
Yeah.
Another fantastic game you can just go forever in, Fallout 4. Amazing game. I really wish it was more like Fallout 3 in New Vegas, but still fantastic nonetheless.
I really can't bash it because it's a game that I constantly think, oh, I should go back and play, and I do.
Yeah.
So, I can't say anything bad about it.
And mods gave it a whole new life on
Yes.
console, so I've been doing a lot of stuff
I mean,
with
it
that.
doesn't add like crazy stuff like the PC version, but still, it's nice to have.
Yeah. Next up, we got Far Cry 4. Not as good as Far Cry 3, in my opinion, but still, it was a pretty decent game.
I don't know. I never played 3, and I played through like all of 4, and so I really enjoyed it. I don't care what you say.
Next up, Final Fantasy 12. Hoping to go through this sometime soon. I've never actually played 12. It's like the only Final Fantasy I think I've ever just like skipped over completely. But hopefully I get a chance to play it soon.
I think it's funny. A lot of people say that because I actually did play it. I feel like they're trying to do what they're doing almost nowadays. Back then, just more. I don't know. It's kind of a combination of nowadays versus old Final Fantasy games. For combat, at least.
All right, next up, we have Final Fantasy 15, my personal favorite Final Fantasy on the console. Probably my second favorite Final Fantasy of all time, but that's coming from a guy that loves the modern aesthetics of Final Fantasies like 7 and things like that. So I adored this game, and I should platinum it, but literally the only thing I'm missing is like the fishing trophy. So I just haven't done fishing, and that's it.
I think it's hilarious because I think that's what I spent most of my time doing. For whatever reason, if there's fishing in a game, I will sit there for like hours on end just fishing.
Yeah, so
It's
I don't know.
ridiculous.
It's the only trophy I'm missing. So next up, we have Yakuza 0, one of the games that I actually just got into recently. I absolutely adore this game. If you like Persona, but you're looking for something that's a bit more mature and maybe a little bit even like spice of lifey, if you're like really into anime and stuff like that, I check out Yakuza 0 because it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, just saying that. Like, I've seen him play little bits, and I've never played any of the Yakuza games. I want to get into it, but I feel like I would disappear off the face of the planet for hours and days.
Well, maybe once I beat that and I go on to Yakuza 1, you can try Yakuza 0. So, yeah. The Witcher 3. I haven't dedicated enough time into this to actually formulate a good opinion, but I didn't even make it off like the first little starting area. So everybody tells me it's amazing. I've seen all the reviews. I've seen all that stuff, but I don't know. I just haven't gotten into it.
I got farther than you did, but I didn't put enough time into it. It deserves like a full week's worth plus of just sitting down and going through. Because from what I did play, it's great, but I didn't play enough.
Next up, we have The Walking Dead Season 2. I played through the entire first season and adored it, and when I purchased this, I was actually ready to jump into it, but I was debating on whether or not I should get the PS3 version as well, because I heard some of your choices carry over. Don't know if that's true or not, but I've yet to actually play Season 2. Love the first season, though. Fantastic.
Yeah, no, so many people say so many good things about this game, and I've never given it a try. I should.
One of the games that we actually got for PlayStation VR is Until Dawn Rush of Blood. A fantastic on-rail shooter. Really enjoyed it. Scary as all hell on your first few times through. But very good, like, firm controls. Like, it actually works really well. So, I recommend it.
It's terrifying! Ah!
Next up, we got Titanfall 2. Fantastic campaign. Highly underrated as far as shooters go. And if you were one of those people that picked up Call of Duty or Battlefield instead of this one, well, you should correct that and go buy this one brand new to let people at Respawn Entertainment know we need creative shooters. We need the ones that have these fantastic, like, I don't know, like, what would you even call it? Like, in the campaign, there was just moments that I hadn't seen in any other games until recently. And it's fantastic, and the multiplayer is super fun, and they give you tons of DLC for free all the time so that they don't split up the player base, and it's amazing. Go check it out. Best FPS to play online, for sure.
Yeah, like, I actually really enjoy this game too, and I'm not a huge FPS person, but I've played through the campaign like 2 times, and we play online every now and again, so...
Next up, we got kind of a disappointment, which was Thief on the PS4. Matter of fact, it's such a disappointment. I'm pretty sure it's like all like falling apart in here. No, it's good. But yeah,
Like.
Thief. It's meh. I don't know. It was okay.
I never tried it.
Tomb Raider. Absolutely loved this back on PS3. Haven't gone through it on PS4 yet, and I need to get the Rise of Tomb Raider at some point. Yeah. Then we have Shadow of Mordor. Picked this up when it was on super sale. I think it was like $10. I haven't played it yet. I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings guy, but yeah, I hear great things. So the sequel looks fantastic. So
I was a super huge fan of Lord of the Rings, and I don't know why I haven't given this a try because it's been so highly reviewed. But yeah.
Next up, we got Shadow Warrior. The only reason this one's still sealed is because I actually own it digitally as well. I think it was like $2 at one point on the store, so I ended up picking it up. But fantastic game. It's really funny. It's a hilarious game, so it's great. Skyrim, another game that I think I bought probably like 2 or 3 times. I know I don't have PC, PS3, PS4. I'm not buying it again. So it's not, in my opinion, it's not as good as Oblivion. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know. That's just me.
I think it's hilarious. I played Skyrim first and then went back to Oblivion, and where I hate the controls of Oblivion, just the stories and the little, the atmosphere, everything in Oblivion was kind of a bit better. But the gameplay, like, mechanics of this one kind of...
Well, yeah, because Oblivion is aged, like,
I know.
really poorly.
Still really good.
Yeah. Next up, we got Song of the Deep, a game you actually picked up and just never played. So.
Well, it was one of those things that I picked it up while picking up, I think, Persona 5. So I just never got a chance to really pop it in. Oh.
Next up, one of my personal favorites, and really another underrated game, Sleeping Dogs. Really recommend this one for anybody who's a fan of like GTA, crime dramas, even just Chinese or Japanese architecture, things like that. Fantastic game. And it's a shame that we won't be getting a sequel. But maybe we'll get a movie, which will still be kind of cool in itself. Next up, one of my favorite horror games of all time, Resident Evil 7. Played it on VR, played it normal, platinum the damn game. It's fantastic, and I absolutely love it.
I actually just beat it on easy, and trying to convince myself to go through it again, because it is really good enough to go through, even though it's relatively short, depending on how much time you take. God, oh, no.
Yep.
I don't want to do it.
Then we got Rainbow Six Siege. Fantastic multiplayer game. Still play it all the time with my friends. And it's actually been the source of quite a bit of humor for the channel. So I recommend it. It's great. Fantastic game.
The amount of times they play it and the shenanigans they get into, I want to pick up a copy so I can play with them. And I just haven't. It looks really good.
It's one of those games that I can't really say it did DLC right, because it kind of did it poorly by charging ridiculous amounts for what you actually get season after season. But still, though, if you just want to play it like straight out of the box, it's still fine too. It's a great game. And then lastly, we got these PlayStation VR, like demo discs, PlayStation VR Worlds. Essentially, this is just a bunch of little mini games for the PlayStation VR to test out the hardware. And all in all, they work really well. Especially the demo disc. I enjoy a lot of the games off of that. That was pretty cool. It's still sealed because you can download it too. So I figured, why even pop the disc in? Just download it for free. So yeah. So that pretty much covers it. That's our entire PS4 collection, guys. If there was any games there that you thought that we should play that we didn't have, let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget, too, that we've also already went through games like Prey, and there was a few other ones that we used to have in the collection that we've either traded or got rid of, sold off, or stuff like that. So, that's pretty much everything. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys all next time.